What's fucking good, YouTube? It's your boy Kyo Carnage here, and I'm dropping you guys the next installment of Improving. And today I got some League Play gameplay, some Search and Destroy on Standoff, and I'm going to explain to you guys the situation right here. We picked up Neil last night to play as a team. He's shout out to Neil. He just had he had a kid just recently, so he hasn't been playing with us as often. But he was in some of my older commentaries, so it was good to have Neil back for the night. Anyways, the situation is we're playing Search and Destroy on Standoff, and as you can tell, we're going into this game 0-3. And again, these guys are just playing really unconventionally. I guess their plays were better than ours. I guess they just snuck up on us, and maybe they had just better timing, and we were just unaware of the situation. But we adjusted really quickly, and you guys can see it for yourself. And I pretty much go off with the FAL in this game. Again, full streaks and all that. But anyways, today's episode of Improving, I just wanted to touch up on something, and it has to be relevant to the gameplay you're seeing behind you, and is that mentality. And it's really all like this game is all competitive Call of Duty, any competitive game you go into. It's all about the mind games. It's all about how mentally fortitude you are, and if you can make the right calls and everything. And before I go into more of the in-depth thing, there's a thing in fighting games called the Vortex. And a lot of you guys know, Scorpion has one in Mortal Kombat. Akuma in Super Street Fighter, 4 Arcade Edition has a Vortex. And what a Vortex is essentially is, putting your opponent into a guessing situation where if they guess the 1 in 4, the 1 in 2, or the 1 in 3 right, they're in a decent situation. But therein lies the problem is that you're going to force them to guess that 1 and 3 again and 1 and 3 again, and that's what you want to do in this game. And this is what we were trying to do to come back. So mentality and how me and the task force play and how I play personally is that in situations that we're 0-3 and things like this, like we've been down 0-3, 1-5, et cetera, et cetera. You cannot be discouraged by that number. It's going to be a little bit harder on you, but it just means you have to buckle down. Mentally, for me, like I saw that 0-3, I'm just like, I don't think these kids are better than me. I don't think they are better than the whole task force. I know Scover and me and Joe and Neil are just better than them. So in your head, you have to think about it that way. You cannot let a losing situation become a losing situation. Like, in most gaming, there's always an out. There's always a way out. You play until the very end until you cannot possibly just win anymore. And you have to fight it out. You have to just keep going. And again, there's a lot of other in-depth things that I could talk about, especially with mentality. Even though I got a full 12 minutes to do it, and I'll touch up on some of them. But here you'll see me like I'm just sitting here like my gunplay is better, my challenges are better, my baits are better, and I started to play well. I started baiting him, and you'll see me strafe around the corner with the FAL trying to bait him, put first open shots out. And that for me that's risky, but I know I can play that bait game really well. But again, in like situations like this with an 0-3 situation, you also have to still respect your opponent, no matter how much you think that you're better than them. You have to respect that they're gonna make the plays that they're gonna make, and the plays that were beating you right out the get go, and continue to do that. You have to respect them in that sense, and you have to respect that maybe some things will go wrong, and respect these situations so you can't make mistakes. You have to eliminate making mistakes, and as a player, you have to recognize what is a mistake, when the mistake happens, and how it happens, and what you did wrong. And earlier in this game, you'll see me right at the rip, throw a trophy system over A. I'll either throw it from my tank into that cubicle at A by playground, or I'll throw it out the rip by cardboard. And the problem is that I knew they were throwing EMPs. That was my mistake. I should not have done that. So you'll see me delay toss it throughout the game. You'll see me wait for an EMP, that EMP ping to go off, and then I'll throw it over and just, because they keep needing A. And you'll see in this game they'll need A a lot, and they'll need cardboard a lot because they know I'm there, and they know I'm peeking cardboard. So again, back into mentality is that you have to be mentally well suited, and you have to really, and it takes a lot of time understanding the game and really knowing the core mechanics and how certain plays play out and how certain players think and how they think it's going to play out. It's more like you're trying to read them more than you're trying to read yourself. So and Scovern's extremely good at it. I'm very good at it as well. I try to make that one. I'm very good at making that 1 and 4, 1 and 5 guess against people, and Scovern's actually amazing at making those 1 and 4 and 1 and 5 guesses. But again, it comes back to: are you willing to let them win, or are you willing to fight back in a situation like this, and and come back and win? If you still have tricks in your bag, and you have and you're thinking in a way of like, all right, this is how they're playing, how can I counter it, and how can I challenge it, how can I correct these things and challenge it. You'll see in this gameplay, the delay trophy system toss is one of them, because they'll toss that EMP, and a lot of people know that EMPs go through walls. So if they don't chuck it at in an open area where the trophy system's at, the trophy system will get EMP'd. So what I did, I waited for that that explosion. I wait for that explosion cue of the EMP and then toss it. And then you'll see me a lot of times. I'll be peeking tractor. I'll be peeking A, because these guys been a lot of the times they'll try to hop on that tank or hop on statue and try to get first picks or push L wall, and then they'll push A straight up. So I knew they like to push A, so I challenged it every time. But I knew where to look this time. I didn't, because usually I when I push out of that tractor, I look over the van to see if there's anyone thermal sniping over there, just to see if I can get a first pick and challenge him, or hopefully he doesn't see me and I just pick him off anyways. But these guys were going like, I have an optimal shot at broken wall from where I'm at. These guys, when they push, and I hover the bomb, they don't have a better shot on me at all. So I'm usually strafing with my gun up, so I'm ready to shoot more than they are ready to shoot me. And the FAL is just a bean machine, so you you don't even have a problem if you have a trigger finger like I do. God damn it, Facebook. Sorry guys, but again, like, you have to play in a way that you have to play every round like it's your last, and that you still have tricks in your bag, and that you can still keep making the game go. And it's really like a lot of how Call of Duty players are. If you guys get upset and you get really angry and you get really melancholy right out the get-go, and it goes in other situations in life as well, that if you get upset and you really let a situation affect you, the worst outcome will almost always happen. If you fear that something is going to happen, it's almost always will. So for yourself, you have to think of it in a way like, okay, how am I going to buckle down, and how I'm going to make this work, and how I'm going to get this W, and how I'm going to secure this W. So what ended up happening was, we were talking through Neil, because a lot of the rounds that we did lose was because Neil pushed up way too fast, and we're and on search games, we like to play it slower, we like to play it tighter, so we don't make those mistakes, and we don't make incorrect pushes or incorrect plays. But again, sometimes it comes down to communication as well. But we know we still have tricks for days in our bag. So we didn't end up letting that situation get to you. But so pretty much the basic outline to this, guys, is if you think you can still do it, go for it. A game's never decided within the first half. We've come back from me and Scoburn have come back down from 150. The enemy team being up 150 against us on hardpoint, and we coming back and taking every hardpoint after that. We've come back to 0-3, 0-4, caps against us on CTF, and we came back and pulled 6 flags in the second half to get a spawn trap. Again, you have to be able to utilize every aspect of the game and really utilize every side of the map, because if you're not playing well on both sides, on either side of the map, like if you're not playing good on one side, you have to be able to play good on the other side. If you're playing bad on the good side, you have to be able to play good on the bad side. You have to be versatile. You have to be really knowledgeable what you can and cannot do, and that it comes in hand with tangent with improving your your gun skills and your gunplay, and how far you're willing to go with it. And it takes practice, guys. Don't get me wrong. It takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes commitment. And if you're willing to commit there, you're going to go further in Call of Duty, and you're going to go further in other things in life as well. And with that, you can after you improved everything, and you've gotten everything up to a standard, or what the standard is, you will find new things. Just because you've gotten to a point doesn't mean your self improvement is over and your mental evolution stops. It actually gets to a point where you're going to discover new things that most people haven't discovered, like how JCap start using dual CAF 40s, and how Unite Envious was at MLG Dallas was using, after the nerf to dual CAF 40, was using the dual B23Rs, which they've been always strong for the duration of how as long as it's been out and untouched and everything, and now dual it's banned. But point being, again, when you start to be confident and you start to you know play well and you start to really get comfortable within the game, you will you'll see results. You'll see what you can do and how flexible and how versatile you can be, and how mentally tuned you are to with spawning and respawn times and map movement, and how a team coordinates and how they play, and all that. And at the end of the day, you're gonna learn new things. Every day is always a new thing that you'll learn, and you'll try these things, and you'll invest in it. And as a player mentally, it's gonna evolve, and it's gonna be in the back of your head. And like, say for instance, someone does something unconventional, and you've seen it happen once before, and you were caught in that situation. You know how to sit there and be like, all right, well, this is how shitty this situation was. How am I gonna correct myself now and get out of it? So I hope this helped you guys out. It's the way I look at gaming, and I hope you guys can take what you can from it and really pick apart from it. And I probably will expand on this next week again, because I like the topic of mentality, and the mental games and the mind games and the psychology of Call of Duty and psychology of gaming as well. But again, guys, I hope you like the gameplay as well. It was a really good gameplay. It was really good communication, teamwork from Neil, Joey, and Scorin, and this is why I game with these guys. I love them. They're probably the best guys I can game with, and I love that they trust me to do what I can to help the team out. But again, guys, the only thing I ask, like always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And you like this video, share it on Facebook, get it viral. And again, thanks for checking out the videos, guys. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'm out. Peace.